Good afternoon. I hope this video finds you all well on this glorious day. I wanted to check in on the work that's underway right now and then also setting up the next 2 weeks so folks can move ahead with that work. Thank you for your participation in the Twitter chats, those of you who've had a chance to jump in. I know some of the Twitter chats aren't happening as regularly in the summer months, so let me know if you're having trouble so I can help you find one. We can always extend the time frame out if you need a little longer to complete that. And then for the professional development quick design, the goal of that assignment is really for you to begin to apply some of the andragogical principles that we've been reading about and to take professional development and try and flip it into a paradigm where your participants, your adult learners, are engaged. You've all been to dreadful professional development scenarios where you are asked to sit and get. There's no problem, there's no engagement, there's no exploration. And really with this, the goal is to try and for you to think about a very small project that you could do where you would try and redesign the learning for your audience so that it better reflected that real world, designed with a problem in mind, giving them a purpose, opportunity to play, and really leveraging your technology to help your participants explore. So again, you might set it up for, I want to design a half an hour workshop for my parents this fall that is about how we use communication tools in my second grade classroom. You could set it up that you want to design a professional development for your math curriculum team in the high school to look at different software applications where students can be getting real-time feedback or interacting with real scientist data to do mathematical operations. Again, the goal is less about the content than it is about how do you leverage the technology to help better design professional development that meets the needs of adult learners. If you have any questions, feel free to email me on that one so that I can help you with that. The other piece that I want to talk about is the next 2 weeks. Because of the July 4th holiday, I wanted to kind of regroup things a little bit so that folks can have a longer time to work on this next project. So when you log into Blackboard now, you should see the new welcome message that's here. And then in weeks 4 and 5, when you click there, you'll see a little bit more about what we're going to explore. And this is really about the teaching and learning with technology. So the first part of that is going to be in week 4, where I will be sharing with you and potentially reviewing for you some frameworks around how do we use educational technology. So I've given you a comparison matrix here. If it's helpful, feel free to use it. It's nothing that you're required to submit. And so there's a couple of videos on the SAMR model, which some of you I'm sure are familiar with, a video here on TPACK and a reading that goes with it, and then also the 4Cs framework as well, so that you can think about how each of these kind of works in your context and for your students, and some readings as well. What you're going to do this week is for the time is that you're going to spend some time following all those rabbit trails of the new resources that you'd like to use with your students. And so what I'm asking you to do is you're going to create a document like this. It can be set up slightly differently, but where you're exploring a new tool, what's the cost of it, kind of describe it for us, grade levels, where would you might be using it, and then how does it connect to those frameworks, and how might you use it with students. So your goal by July 4th is to create a document like I just showed you that has at least 4 tools on it. You're certainly welcome to go beyond that. And then you'll share your Google document to the stream. And then the other part that I want you to start working on, but because of the holiday, I'm going to give you 2 weeks to work on, is your inquiry project. And this, for those of you that are familiar with the Genius Hour concept, and we've read about it in class, this is really your equivalent of a Genius Hour to spend some time taking your practice forward. So For July 4th, you're going to spend time working on it, but you're only going to have to submit the one weekly engagement. And again, feel free to submit early if you're traveling for the long weekend. For week 5, if you check out that folder, it will really detail the inquiry project. So I think many folks are familiar with Daniel Pink and his concept around what drives us and the role that we need, that autonomy should play in learning, in really engaging learning experiences. So a video and 2 readings here that I'd like you to do. And then for this, it's really wide open. You're going to choose a project that you want to work on. Again, over the 2 weeks, you have a total of 12 to 14 hours of time that you should be engaged with this project. So I've given you some ideas here. You know, you can pursue certification from Google. You could attend the EdCamp Leader Maine, connect your learning in new ways. You could design a Genius Hour project for your students, dig into Twitter. I mean, this is just a real sampling of things that you might want to spend your time investigating. And for a few of them, the hours of this project would be insufficient to really complete the Google certification. But however, this would give you a chance to start that process. So for this, again, there's 2 pieces that are due on the 11th. There's first just a weekly engagement piece, and that's going to connect back to the SAMR and the TPACK and 4C framework. And then it's really this inquiry project in terms of over the next 2 weeks, you're going to spend some time following your own directions. And what you'll do is at the end on your blog, you will be posting a new entry, and you'll see these bolded questions here. These questions are slightly different than the ones I've asked you to respond to, but you'll see you're going to respond on your blog or your website to each of these questions here, and you're going to provide evidence of how did you spend your time, how does it connect to your learning, and then really how might you increase learner autonomy with your own students. And then once you've done that, you're going to, on the stream, you'll go ahead and just post a link to that page of your blog or your website so that we can all take a look. So I hope this helps to clarify kind of what's coming up next. And if you've got any questions, please let me know. And thanks for the great work so far.